final fitting.
Doesn't she look great?
What do you think? Questions, comments, concerns?
She weighed 170 pounds when I hired her. Look she got into shape. She's been training 3 hours a day, at least, just on the stunts.
Oh, yeah, no, don't forget the 2 hours I spend lifting my own body weight. There's that, too.
She lifts her own body weight. She looks fantastic.
I've eaten so much tuna sashimi since we started that I'm going to sue for mercury poisoning.
We're trying to decide between this and this. Put it on film. And we're going to be the fighting duo soon.
That's right.
Me and you.
You better bring it.
Hi, I'm Heidi. I'm Scarlett's stunt double. We've been working with her on this move for a couple weeks now, and she's actually going to maybe be able to perform it today. It's kind of a cartwheel, a one-armed cartwheel with a leg locked around the guy's neck, and then you yank him down to the ground and he does a front flip to his back. Scarlett works so hard, and she's picked up so many of the moves. In fact, she can do the beginning intro into this, and she also can finish the end flop down.
Oh my God! Happy, are you all right?
What you just do?
Sorry about that. It was just
You just got served, Happy. And you have this temptress, shape-shifting female character, Black Widow, played exquisitely by Scarlett Johansson. She starts off as Natalie Rushman, the femme fatale assistant that Pepper knows something's wrong with.
In walks this young, gorgeous bombshell and really throws Pepper off her course, you know.
Will that be all, Mr. Stark?
Yes, that will be all, Ms. Rushman. Thank you very much.
This idea of this temptress that comes in and tries to break up the relationship, it adds that little bit of spark between the characters.
I want one.
No.
You sure?
Yes.
She turns out to be a member of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she is more of a compatriot of Tony's than a love interest.
Black Widow was very, very interesting character because when she first appeared, she was not even costumed. She was this vampish kind of Soviet agent.
The Black Widow, again, is another one of those wonderful characters that springs from the 60s spy genre. She's a Russian defector. She came out of a project called The Red Room, where she was taught to be the perfect Russian spy. She started as a ballerina, and then she comes to the States and becomes a part of the superhero community here and rebels against, her Cold War masters of the past. And it's the perfect name for her because she's beautiful and she's deadly.
She was very, very three-dimensional, as was Clint Barton, Hawkeye, because the relationship between the two of them was something that had a great deal of subtlety to it. The way she would play him and the way he would play up to her, the way he needed her approval, even though he kind of played a bit of a tough guy. And so Natasha, at the same time, having this kind of femme fatale quality, made her a very, very interesting character. I've always felt that she was a fascinating character with many facets to her personality.
She has that espionage-y feel. Scarlett being chosen makes her feel just really cool and sexy, but it contemporizes in a way. It makes people think about the character in a fresher, younger way. It's the harder challenge with Natasha and her character was it was very much a product of the Cold War ideology. With this reimagining through the Ultimates and then the movie and then Scarlett coming in and making people pay attention to the character and say, this is young, sexy, and cool, it allows us to play with reinventing the character and kind of get away from the Cold War analogies. More a product of what's going on in the world today, which makes it a little bit easier to relate to the character.
What can we say about Scarlett Johansson embodying her, except that she's absolutely cool. I mean, she looks beautiful. Her moves on screen are choreographed in a way that are beautiful and ballet-like, but yet really vicious. I mean, she doesn't just, give these people a light punch to the chin. I mean, she takes people out.
I've seen the tests that she's been doing, jumping off the cranes and doing the wire work and learning the combat. She looks pretty steady, and she's pretty brave and pretty committed, so that's good. It's the first time I'm seeing her as somebody who could be a somebody who could be the star of a comic book movie.
3, 2, 1, go! 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, like that. I was totally out of my element when it came to the physical part of this work, and for me, I've always, I think I was excited to do something that was going to be a challenge for me, and I'm fortunate enough that I'm young and able, and you know, I was certainly more than willing to be a part of the action, so to speak.
She had a really good time doing it. Unlike some of us older curmudgeons, there's very little you can do to get under her skin. She's just consummately professional.
I loved the first movie so much, and so as soon as I heard that there was a possible part in the second installment, I was all over it. You know, I was desperate to be a part of it.
Oh, wow. Very, very impressive individual. She's fluent in French.
Rule number 1, never take your eye off your opponent.
Oh my God!
Scarlett was just a dream, you know. She's so game. Natalie is so complex and kind of unreadable, and she had a really good time doing it.
Marvel and the filmmakers were quite pleased with Scarlett Johansson's film interpretation of the femme fatale.
Scarlett did an amazing job, not just in her performance, but in her training. I mean, she has some of the best moments in the entire movie.
Giving away the secrets here.
I was certainly more than willing to be a part of the action, so to speak, and I wanted to really sell it. You know, I wanted to know what it feels like to, you know, to hurdle over giant bodyguards and, you know, do all kinds of flippy things.
She spent hours and hours and hours for months, by far the most dedicated actor when it came to the stunt work and the physical work. She really wanted to make the most of it. And as a result, we used her double very little.
I think I was, you know, really wanted to prove something to myself, but at the same time, I'm very sensitive when you see those action movies and, you know, it's like the back of somebody's head and then all of a sudden they give that one pose at the end and you're like, that was not, that was the lamest thing, you know. You want to see the actor risking their life, you know. It's part of what makes, what sells it, I think, as an audience member, and I, you know, like I said, I'm sensitive about that sort of thing, so I never would want to be that, you know, I wouldn't want to be perceived as like a wuss who couldn't do it, I guess.
You really believe that as she's moving through this this hallway full of these guards, that she's able to do her flips and turns and grabs. It was pretty inspired, and she learned a lot of it. She did wire work herself, and then it was about designing the costume.
I looked at every visual reference for Black Widow and talked to the producers, because they were obviously really, really interested in what it was going to become, and same with John. And so we did a rendering with her in the outfit. That was done on a computer, and the first one, it was not painstaking. The first illustration got the approval.
I don't think I've ever worn anything like it before. I mean, I'm certainly not like a deep sea diver, but I can imagine that it's sort of like a wetsuit. It's a, you know, one-piece kind of unitard of some sort, a sexy unitard. You know, the first time I tried it on, I mean, obviously it's been a lot of, you know, I've been really like training and trying to get fit for this costume and make it look just right. And you know, it certainly, Mary Zofries has helped me in a lot of ways just by designing something that I think is both functional and looks really badass.
Scarlett's been doing an amazing amount of training for this. And some of the more dangerous parts of this sequence, I put Heidi in just because I can't risk having Scarlett get hurt, but this is kind of the culmination of about 8 weeks of solid training for her, about 4 hours a day.
When I first saw the sequence that they wanted me to do when it was completed and choreographed, I just thought to myself, oh my God, I just don't know how this is, how am I gonna do this?
Ready, and action.
This right here, what you're seeing, is a highlight in the film for her, where we're really showing all of Scarlett's talents.
Tommy Harper combined a lot of different fighting styles, and she was game for learning it all.
I wanted to know what it feels like to hurdle over giant bodyguards and do all kinds of flippy things and whatever, all of that stuff. I think we got it, and when Tom says that he got it, then I know he got it.
It was good. I looked at it. You felt good with it? I didn't see anything.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, like, we're gonna still pick up like specials.
Yeah, you're right.
Got it.
Are the guns in a weird place? There.
Action!
Okay. One more, right away.
There. Is that helping?
That does help.
I'm trying to make her badass, man. She's too sweet.
I know, I feel like it's so low, I'm practically shooting at the floor. They're wonky. Did that look like I was looking right at you?
One more.
He's gone.
And drop the gun.
It was a lot of work and it very frustrating at times.
Let's do one more and just sort of cruise out.
Reshoots? What reshoots? Is that low enough?
Sure.
Too low?
Great.
Which I'm sure you see on the behind the scenes, me just being like, why? You know, and wanting to get it right.
Ready, and action! Very nice.
I think I felt like those electricity in the room. I felt good. Sometimes it's one shot that makes us start thinking Marilyn Monroe with the subway.
I think that the possibilities are really endless as far as, you know, Black Widow's involvement with the Marvel Universe. It's just whether the fans are kind of demanding of the studio what they want to see.